Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. VisionSoft Innovations for the application assessment, application migration, go live support, application managed services, and the application sustainment. The comprehensive session is scheduled on November 4th. We'll be detailing that. Today's session will focus on excerpts of that session on November 4th. We'll also show you the product demo for application assessment, migration, carve-outs on the zero downtime go live. With that, let's start with the assessment. We take ECC, current system we have. We will do the assessment of data, process, custom code, and security, as well as DB sizing, database sizing, and provide an estimate of how many days it will take, how many weeks to do the migration process, the remediation, the post-migration steps, and the go live. We'll start with the data. Haneya is our innovation for the assessment as well as migration process. It identifies all the inconsistent fields, any fields, any data elements that have changed between ECC and S/4HANA, as well as data elements that have become obsolete, and any data elements that have been introduced new. So it will assess how many inconsistencies in the ECC, how many new fields, new data elements that have been introduced in S/4HANA, how many changed fields between ECC and S/4HANA, and it helps transform and map, construct those fields, all the data elements during the migration process, which we'll show you in the next step. So this is for material mastery. As you see, that there are a number of change fields, labels, material number, length change. There are some new fields, reference material, manufactured book part number, structure type, etc. Those need to be constructed and loaded into S/4HANA. So this is an assessment. It will provide an estimate, and then we'll go into the migration process in the second step. We'll also show you the similar framework for customer master. So similar to the material master, customer also has the details on any fields that are inconsistent, new fields, and also change fields that need to be transformed. As you see here, the language became correspondence. There are a number of new fields in the BP master coming from CVI mapping. There are gender identifications, BP types, BP categories, so on and so forth. Those all need to be constructed, transformed, mapped, and to build the S/4HANA system. Then we'll show you financial objects, general ledgers. The functionality we have is the universal ledger within S/4HANA. So Haneya takes all the GLs and the cost elements from ECC, maps and transforms into universal ledger. So it identifies all the new field, again, new data elements that have been defined in S4, change data elements, any inconsistencies between the ECC and S4 or within ECC itself. And it will transform and map and construct anything new to make the S/4HANA compatible. So that's the data assessment. We'll also show CVI mapping very quickly. CVI is the customers, vendors, all of them are mapped to the business partners, as you know, within S/4HANA. And Haneya actually identifies all those elements and transforms and maps all the customer vendors. For example, as you see here, business partner, customer, take all the inputs from the ECC and configures automatically the customer mapping to the BP within S/4HANA. Same thing, we have vendor in the next screen. All the vendors will be mapped to the BPs within S/4HANA using the Again, the configuration logic is presented here is configuration automated and transformed into BPs. Then we will show you the process assessment, business process assessment, how the business process have been classified, categorized between ECC and S/4HANA. There are processes that have become automated within S4, therefore those will be ported automatically. Anything newly introduced, they're all ported. There are some processes, those are mandatory. Those will be implemented. If you have any custom logic built in ECC and that became a standard process within S4, all those custom logics will be ported into S4, and we will not bring those processes into S4 because those are not required. Those are not necessary. So it goes by mega process, record to report, supply chain, order to cash, plan to produce, so on and so forth. There are about 80 business processes that have been impacted. Those have been, and Haneya will assess and identify what process to be ported, what process adapted, what business process need to be mandatory implemented within S/4HANA. Yeah. So this is the process assessment, and also in the migration, I'll show you the flavor of process migration. The next one is custom code and security. All the custom objects that have been that became obsolete, those will be replaced. Those would be remediated to make it compatible with S/4HANA. There are also custom function modules, actually standard function modules, those became obsolete. Standard transactions, they become obsolete, standard domains, Z data elements, so on and so forth. Those all will be assessed first, as you see here. For a comprehensive list of objects, how much time it takes, it defines the timeline. This includes the remediation. This includes the upgrade, migration, testing, and go live. We'll also go to the assessing each object and which programs or which lines in the program that became either obsolete or incompatible. Haneya identifies those and also migrates them to the remediates and migrates them to S/4HANA. As you see here, it provides the line by line in this object, custom object, which lines became obsolete, which lines have errors, warnings. There are also some information messages which are low priority, but all the error messages, warning messages, those need to be captured, those need to be remediated before we go to the S/4HANA. And program by program, object by object, we have list of lines, those need to be remediated, as you see here. The magnitude of remediation could be millions of statements. Based on the volume of custom objects, we have to remediate and take them to S/4HANA. So that's the custom code. Then we also saw security roles, because all the roles have been impacted due to the transaction codes. The transactions have become obsolete, as you know, like XK01 become BP, KA01 become FS00, and so on and so forth. Those transactions have to be updated in the roles. The authorization need to be updated, and then make sure that all the roles work day in the life for the business users. And Haneya assess also does the estimate how many days it will take to process them. So that's the assessment. DB sizing is another assessment Haneya carries out. It identifies based on the growth strategy, based on the data size you have within ECC, what is the size required within S4, the memory, disk size, log size, and CPUs. As here by development, quality, sandbox, and production, it identifies how much size is required, how much RAM, log size, etc. And it will provide an estimate for sizing the S/4HANA box. Okay, so that covers the assessment. The assessment report comprises of about 50 to 60 pages for all these areas and produces the report, and then those report will be used to review and approve by the business stakeholders, and that become a baseline for the remediation, upgrade, and migration. Now we'll show you the cleansing, how the cleansing works for the data, especially data is the longest pole in the tent for any implementation, and how the data will be cleansed, remediated using the DMAG. DMAG is another innovation VisionSoft has, and it will help cleanse all the data. So we'll look at the customer master, all the inconsistencies, all the errors and inconsistencies, and we have 3 methods to update them. There's interactive update, there's a business rules remediation, there's also you can upload and download the errors, correct it, and upload it back. So let's do the interactive update. So this is the interactive update that identifies all the errors, and some a data steward, data analyst will correct these errors. As you see here, interactive can correct and save it. We'll also show you the business rules. There are, based on the business rules in the back end, the data elements can be corrected, updated, remediated as well. As you see here, these are all the business rules maintained based on the customer grouping, based on the sales organization, channels, etc. These rules will be leveraged to update the master records. In this case, will be customers. We also have the inconsistencies download. We can download all these inconsistencies via Excel format, update it, and upload it back. As you see here, a data steward data analyst can work on it. These spreadsheets offline, update these data elements, and upload it back. Okay, so that's an example of cleansing, how the cleansing is performed in the system. Now we'll show you the migration process, upgrade and migration from ECC to S4. So the application will be upgraded to the latest version of S4HANA, either 2020, 2021, and then migration, and then migrated to S4HANA 2020. So we have a number of functionalities here. During the upgrade, we do SPA, USPDD, we do HANA compatibility reports, also the functional modules, remediation, upgrade conflicts, custom enhancements, subscreens, cloned objects, custom fields assessment, custom fields remediation, variants remediation, so on and so forth. There's very rich functionality, but we'll show a couple of them just to give you the flavor. So we'll do the upgrade conflicts, HANA compatibility, yeah. So as you see here, there are error messages, warning messages, those will be remediated. So we'll show you the remediation. So Haneya will go into each of these objects and corrects the syntaxes and the programs. As you see here, change by Haneya tool, anything which is, it removes it, it comments and removes it, and then also appends some of the statements. So on and so forth. It'll correct and remediate, update it, so that this object is compatible with S/4HANA. Okay. Let's do one more in upgrade, Z elements. Yeah, that's fine. SPA, SPDD, any upgrade conflicts will remediate, and it will update as well. We'll show you the flavor of that. So as you see here, any programs, custom objects that have the default, you have any updates need to be performed, since it's the application of ECC getting upgraded to S/4HANA. All those will be showing up here, and Haneya will go in and remediate all these updates, them, make them compatible with S/4HANA standards. We'll show you the flavor of migration. We have a number of them in migration as well. This is the migrating to the S/4HANA 2020 or 2021 applications. As you can see, it will have the obsolete syntaxes, tables, functional modules, table parameters, transactions, and also tables, security roles, so on and so forth, including master data process we spoke about in the application assessment phase. So I'll walk through one by one, show you how the syntax, how the tables, how the transaction codes, how the security roles all will be remediated. Show the reports. So this is essentially brownfield process using DMO. SAP DMO process will help bring everything. As you see here, we're in 2020 server. S/4HANA, it brings everything, and we remediate the custom code, we remediate the data process, and go live. So this is an example of a brownfield migration. As you see here, the call methods became obsolete, and then they're replaced with a new call method syntax here, as you can see. Okay, so this is the brown field. We'll also show you the blue field, data carve-outs. Blue field is a process wherein we don't use DMO, we use Haneya. Haneya carves out the data into S/4HANA, and it remediates all the custom code, remediates all the data process, and then anything new required will Haneya helps constructs those, the configurations and so on and so forth. And then we go live with the blue field. So here you see from ECC is carving out the data based on the sales parameters, based on certain time frames. You can also put the timelines here and extract and carve out data from ECC to S4. As you can see, you can take the ECC customers and make them BPs, business partners, so on and so forth. We have material master carve out. We have transactional carve outs. We have also configuration carve out. We can bring in all the configuration, required configuration from SAP ECC to S4 HANA. Carve out and do the remediation. Construct any new elements required using Haneya and go live. So as you see, you have customers, material, financial, supply chain, transactional data. There's also system configuration data refresh as part of the refresh process. Okay, the next scenario we're going to discuss is the greenfield. Greenfield is the scenario wherein customers are migrating from non-SAP, such as Tally, QuickBooks. They're coming from Foxpro, any of the legacy ERP systems. So DMAG helps, DMAG toolset helps extract the data from the legacy systems, transform and maps it, and converts into S4 HANA format for the go live. So let's show the Tally. As you see in the Tally, you have this is for master data cleansing. So it typically comes in the format of an Excel files. You would do the Excel format, and it does the cleansing and staging in the step 1. Step 2 is the loading, transforming, mapping, and loading into S4 HANA. As you see here, these Excels, our data analysts sit with various client business analysts, fill this Excel spreadsheet, and then it will be passed to the input into the DMAG. A tool set, DMAG will identify any errors. If there are no errors, you get a message like this where it's successfully uploaded into staging area. And since it's success, there are no cleansing need to be performed. These will be converted, uploaded into S4 HANA. And we'll show you the upload process here. So as you see here, the material number is created in S4 HANA. We'll show the material in the S4 HANA using material transaction. So if you go to MM02, which is a very common transaction for materials, you'll see this material has been created already. So that's the material creation from ECC to non-SAP, Tally or QuickBooks. It could be any Foxpro-based systems, any of those. We take input from those systems and create them in SAP S4 HANA. As you see here, the material master is created for that product. Good. So that's the greenfield innovation. As you all know in the industry, data is the longest pole in the tent. DMAG truly helps compress the cycle time for the data extraction, data conversion process, transformation mapping, any construction of the new elements. It is a true accelerator. We accomplished this greenfield implementation in 3 to 4 months using DMAG toolset. Now we'll show you the B2P platform. We also have functionality wherein it goes into B2P. All the custom code, especially goes into the B2P ABAP environment, as you see here. And then in this environment, the custom code is remediated and consumed by S/4HANA core system, clean core, what we call it. So it'll have B2P as well as the S4 clean core for processing various custom code. Then we have zero downtime. We're going to show you. Zero downtime is where a scenario wherein you're migrating from ECC to S/4HANA. ECC system downtime is very, very critical. So we can't afford to take ECC down while migrating to S4. So Haneya provides this capability to operate within 4 hours window when we are going from ECC to S4. ECC runs as is all the way to the midnight of the conversion, go live, and then there is a 2 to 4 hours for validations and reconciliations, and then we go live. So we do that using a critical business process. We take the delta extracts during the blackout period. This is an example of delta extract for the quotations. The whole order to cash process we're going to show you. Execute. So based on time frame or based on, I think it's also you can do the full loads, but during the blackout period, based on time frames, we extract it and extract into the new S/4HANA box for that specific blackout period. As you see here, quotations are extracted for the specific time frame, and these are created within S4 system from ECC. And then, so similar process will be followed for all the critical business processes and go live in S4 while ECC is running. So typical downtime we need is really 2 to 4 hours to validate this. So we also have the field by field audit reports as we do the delta extracts from ECC to S/4HANA. We'd like to ensure that all the fields came in, all the data elements came in with the right values. And that's what you see it here. If there are exceptions, Haneya will identify the exceptions and point out, flag that those exceptions need to be resolved. This is where the time taken 2 to 4 hours, make sure that the data is right, data extracted, migrated to the target system right. So the whole order to cash process, we do the whole stock transport process, we do the whole procure to pay, all the critical business processes, as you see, manufacturing process, inventory, balances, customer credits, etc. This is how we accomplish zero downtime for ECC, including financial transactions, as you see. Zero downtime from ECC to S/4HANA go live. That sums up the demo, and we will discuss more on November 4th, the comprehensive end-to-end application assessment to application sustainment in the November 4th discussion. Thank you all. I appreciate it.